June 13, 2018 mandatory mini-camps in the NFL are over, and teams have taken their annual breaks for the summer until training camps in late July. 28 teams were on the practice field this week. The Bears, Dolphins, Patriots and Lions got a head start on the off-season last week, though some cancelled the final day of practice. Here's some of the best stuff from around the league. Tomlin expects Bell to be ready. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin expects Le'Veon Bell to be ready for 2018. Can't wait till training camp. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN staff writer for ago treats for the close of camp hits become somewhat of an annual tradition in Tampa that on the last day of Bucs minicamp, Gerald McCoy orders a Kona ice truck for everyone. He's done it the last 4 or 5 years. Jenna Lane, ESPN staff writer for ago Jets set QB order. Coach Todd Bowles confirmed the QB depth chart for the start of training camp. Hardly a surprise here, folks. Josh McCown, Teddy Bridgewater and rookie Sam Darnold. In that order. But it's not etched in stone, said Bowles. The competition will heat up when we're in pads and when those things count. Rich Cimini, ESPN staff writer. Go Rams visit future home play. Rams owner Stan Kroenke addresses players from the field of their new stadium in Inglewood. The stadium is being built on a 300-acre site that will also have shops, dining and entertainment. Video by Lindsay Torino. Rush to make Mayfield starter. Baker Mayfield will have to wait his turn as the Browns starting quarterback. More from offensive coordinator Todd Haley on the Browns quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield's got a long way to go. I would say it's clear Tyrod Taylor is the leader of this team, and that's a big component of that position also. Pat McManaman, ESPN staff writer 5 ago Juju is ready for big things. Play Juju Smith-Schuster gives advice to rookie James Washington and is ready for an expanded role in the Steelers' offense. This is why I'm here, he said Wednesday. A video by Jeremy Fowler. Ravens rookie impressing Baltimore players were in awe of Lamar Jackson at camp earlier this week, and he has had another good day on Thursday. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson received nearly all the reps in team drills on the final practice of minicamp, and he responded with his best day of throwing the ball. The first round hit some deep passes and really excelled in the red zone, throwing a touchdown pass in between 4 defenders. Jamison Hensley, ESPN staff writer 6 ago play. Lamar Jackson says it's amazing to hear teammates compare him to Michael Vick. Video by Jamison Hensley. Next step for Pat Shermer said he expects all his players to be at training camp. He adds there is no reason to believe Odell Beckham won't be able to do everything at practices. Jordan Raanan, ESPN staff writer 7 ago Davis opens up. Panthers linebacker Thomas Davis addressed his 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's policy on peds with the media for the first time. He said all he can do is tell the truth and that he was penalized for taking the same substance he has for years. Davis also said he's very open to playing beyond this season, even though he said at the end of last year this would be his last season. Play Panthers linebacker Thomas Davis addresses his 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's policy on peds. Wentz confident with his progress. Play Carson Wentz updates his status almost 6 months after surgery on his torn ACL, and knows contact will be the final step of his recovery. Top news. Play Texans QB Deshaun Watson says everything is going smoothly with his recovery from a torn right ACL. Deshaun Watson happy with recovery. Zach Martin becomes NFL's top paid guard. David Johnson surprises by sitting out Cardinals camp. Ingram, I'm not angry with my contract after skimping Otis. Eli Manning boasted after Giants didn't draft a QB. Josh Gordon upbeat about his future. Falcons summer get-together. Matt Ryan says the Falcons will get together for workouts in July and Julio Jones will be a part of it. Jones has skipped mandatory minicamp this week and voluntary workouts while dealing with a contract issue. Vaughn McClure, ESPN staff writer 1 ago Wade weighs in. Here's what the Rams defensive coordinator had to say about Aaron Donald skipping mandatory minicamp. Wade Phillips does not seem concerned about Aaron Donald's absence from the off-season program, said in a classic deadpan. We feel like it will happen sooner or later, hopefully sooner. He didn't come till later last year and did okay. I guess he fit in a 3 to 4, everybody was worried about that. Lindsay Torino, ESPN 1 Diego I raising inquiry. J. Wright was asked about outside expectations not being as high for the Seahawks this year because of all the key players no longer there. He raised his eyebrow and noted they're only that, outside expectations. Brady Henderson, ESPN 23 ago that say no. Todd Bowles usually doesn't get angry, but he was fired up in practice today when Leonard Williams inadvertently hit QB Teddy Bridgewater in the arm during a team drill. That say no, and the coach let everybody know it. Asked later if there's a fine line for defenders, Bowles said curtly, "There is no fine line. We don't touch the quarterback in shorts and t-shirts, ever." Rich Cimini, ESPN staff writer 22 ago Dak gets some help. Dak Prescott is impressed by the Cowboys' newest offensive weapon, Davin Austin, who was picked up in a trade from the Los Angeles Rams during the draft. "He's a steal," Prescott said. Todd Archer, ESPN staff writer 1 Diego aren't listening. Malcolm Jenkins signs turned into t-shirts. "You aren't listening" gear hanging up at defensive backs stalls following Wednesday practice. Tim McManus, ESPN staff writer 1 Diego striking a post-positive site. "Nice to see some of the #Giants rookies working with a yoga instructor." #ZNSZN, pic.twitter.com/pic0zp, ig, Josine Anderson, at Josino Anderson, June 13, 2018. Elsewhere at Giants camp, star receiver Odell Beckham Jr. was cleared to practice this week, and here he is getting in some extra work with his quarterback play. Odell Beckham Jr. staying on the field for some extra work with Eli Manning. Video by Jordan Rain and Tyrod Taylor's rebuttal. Browns receiver Josh Gordon made news Tuesday when he declared that his team had the best receiving core in the league. "Well, here's what his quarterback said about it on Wednesday." Play. Tyrod Taylor comments on Josh Gordon's claim that the Browns have the best group of receivers in the NFL. Video by Pat McManaman and Adamantium, anyone. Ravens corner Jimmy Smith made a surprise return to the team Tuesday for the first day of minicamp. Eric Weddle attributes the quick return from an Achilles injury to certain mutant powers. Eric Weddle thinks fast-healing Jimmy Smith is half Wolverine. Jamison Hensley, ESPN staff writer 1 Diego Cam Newton back to work. Panthers quarterbacks continue to work on high percentages passes on day 2 of a mandatory 3-day minicamp. This will be a big part of offensive coordinator Norv Turner's plan. David Newton, ESPN staff writer 1 Diego Texans special guest. The #Texans hosted some very special visitors from at SF Indian Arth yesterday during minicamp. #Santa Fe Strong. #We Are Texans. pic.twitter.com/jp2irife2. Houston Texans, at Houston Texans, June 13, 2018. On May 18, 10 people were killed and 13 injured during a shooting at Santa Fe High School. The Texans hosted athletes from the high school and donated $100,000 to the school's memorial fund. "What you missed Luck throws! Exclamation points are warranted here." Andrew Luck, who has been recovering from a January 2017 shoulder surgery, was throwing at minicamp Tuesday. The last time he had thrown a ball was October 2017. Andrew Luck threw about a dozen simple warm-up passes, but hey, he is back and W the team. At #WTHR pic.twitter.com/mfgisilvu9, Dave Calabro, at Calabro13 Sports, June 12, 2018. Andrew Luck is throwing a football. #Colts pic.twitter.com/ZRHNDgate, George Bremer, at Bremer, June 12, 2018. Who's not here? Le'Veon Bell is sitting out his second straight off-season. Ed Mulholland. USA Today Sports. The annual tradition of top players sitting out mandatory mini-camps is here. So far, the list is headlined by a 1,200-yard rusher and the league Defensive Player of the Year. Rams defensive lineman running through drills at mandatory minicamp. Aaron Donald not among them. pic.twitter.com/6muckswa. Lindsey Terry, at Lindsey Terry, June 12, 2018. Those not at minicamp. Cardinals airbay David Johnson didn't show up for the first day of minicamp Tuesday and coach Steve Wilks didn't want to talk about it. He wanted to focus on the players who are here, while QB Sam Bradford wasn't worried about Johnson missing any practices. Josh Weinfuss, ESPN staff writer 2 Diego in action even with a possible contract showdown looming. Odell Beckham Jr. was out catching passes at minicamp. Odell Beckham Jr. was at mandatory minicamp Tuesday and practiced, even if it wasn't in live drills. Jordan Raanan, ESPN staff writer to Diego Beckham is recovering from a broken leg and will not participate in team drills. What's up with John Gruden and company? Play John Gruden tells Shelley Smith how football has changed since the last time he coached and clears the air about his relationship with Derek Carr. Tempers flared during the Raiders' mandatory camp Tuesday as a 2-minute drill involving backup units devolved into a skirmish that seemed to be centered around Fadol Brown and Brandon Parker. There was briefly a pile-up involving perhaps a dozen players. Coach John Gruden was not pleased. He sent both units to the sideline prematurely and used some choice words in doing so. Mike Sando, ESPN senior writer to Diego John Gruden has long admired Marshawn Lynch's ability to run routes. Lynch's receiving ability has been on display during camp today. Mike Sando, ESPN senior writer to Diego Sherman shows up 49ers CB Richard Sherman did indeed go through individual drills during the team's Tuesday minicamp practice. He's still aiming to be full go at the start of training camp. It's excitement anytime you get back on the field, you get to compete. Getting back for training camp will be a lot of fun, Sherman said. I'm sure I'll be excited for like the first 3 practices, like out of my mind, and then I'll get back into the rhythm of understanding it's one practice at a time, but it's been fun. Obviously I'm excited to get back. My body is feeling like it has before, so I'm happy about that. Nick Wagoner, ESPN staff writer to Diego.